Hello there, Taurus. Thank you so much for stopping by for your weekly tarot video forecast for the week of April 22nd through the 28th. We are just going to be looking at some main themes that are coming up for the week. I did already clear the cards for the reading, and so now I'm just putting the final shuffle on them before I put cards down, and then we'll take a look at what's coming in for you. Now, obviously, this is a general reading going out to a lot of different Tauruses who are viewing this video. So just know that not everything that I see is necessarily going to apply to every single one of you. Okay. Um, what else do you guys need to know? If you feel like a lot of it doesn't apply, you can always check your rising sign or your moon sign. Sometimes those give you more information. Sometimes those give you more accurate information, just depending on what's going on in your particular life. And then the other thing is, if you would like to have a private reading where we look at your specific situation and your specific energies, all you have to do is check out my website to find my contact information and schedule that with me. My website is www.amista.info. Let's put down some cards and see what we have coming up for you Taurians. Okay, so for the week of the 22nd through the 28th, when I look at your environment, what I have is it looks like there's been a lot of competitiveness around your environment in some way. Maybe there were several different people trying to lease your same space or buy your same space. Or maybe there was competition actually inside the environment. Maybe there's some sibling rivalry, or maybe there's some competitiveness between you and your significant other. Maybe this environment is a work environment that I'm seeing for you, and there was a lot of competitiveness for a position there, or for attention of the boss there, or what have you. But what comes up is whatever competitiveness that we're looking at around your environment, and your environment is anywhere where you have energy or effort invested, whatever competitiveness was there has now dissipated, and so now you're kind of the leader. You're the person who is standing out, standing in front of the pack. Okay. The next thing that I have coming up talks to me about your main theme for subconscious leanings for the week. Looks to me like subconsciously you're working on making some kind of long-term plans. These may be for travel or vacation, maybe for business travel, but doesn't have to be that. These can be really any kind of long-term plans. Your subconscious is working on how to get those things worked out. Maybe you're thinking about, what's going to happen when I retire? How do I make sure that I'm secure at that point? It could be those type of long-term plans as well. Next thing that I have coming up talks to me about your learning style and also your communication style. For learning, I'm really seeing that there are people who are giving you a whole lot of information right now. And in fact, it may be a little bit more information than you can carry, although I think that you find it all fascinating. It may be information overload. I don't feel like you're having to dig for information during this week mostly. As far as communication style, I feel like your communication style this week is very formatted. Some of you may be teaching classes and you've really got the plan laid out as to exactly what you're going to say, when, at what point. For others of you, you may be really considering what it is that you're saying to bosses or supervisors. Maybe you're putting in for a raise and you're making sure that you've got all your ducks in a row for that. But definitely some kind of structured, formatted communication going on for you Taurians as your main theme during the week. Next, we're looking at work. For those of you who have been watching me a while, you know that work has to do with that outer work, that way we make a living, and also the inner work, how we improve our own characters to make us happier with ourselves. So, outer work, I feel like you guys really have something to celebrate whenever it comes to how you're making money. Maybe you're getting a promotion. Maybe you're happy because there was some pain in the butt person in your office or your facility that is no longer there anymore. But you do have some reason to celebrate that shows up as your main theme of the week. So I think that's going to be really important, whatever it is that you're celebrating there. The other thing that comes up for inner work is you are really focusing on happiness and what brings you happiness. You're really taking a good deep look at that, and how can you expand your happiness in your life. That's the inner work right now, Aries. Next thing I'm looking at talks to me about that part of your personality, which is being grown or expanded during the week. It looks to me like, we went back. I'm going back to your subconscious. Your subconscious is working on long-term plans. That part of you that's being grown or expanded right now is the part that is not necessarily needing to have um, results this moment. It's that part of you that is having patience for the idea that sometimes things take a while. Sometimes you have to have a long term plan for something to produce something for you or to go forward for you. And so you're learning about the patience of waiting for something to actually produce what you need it to. Um, as a part of this week. Now, the next thing coming up talks to me about those things that you stand for. Looks to me like you got some kind of message about money that you're going to have to spend that maybe you weren't planning on spending. Okay. And somebody is probably saying to you, well, why don't you just blow off that bill? Or why don't you just blow off that person or whatever? And you're saying, I may not like it, but it is fair, so I need to go ahead and pay it. That's what I see going on there. How other people perceive you during this week, they see you as somebody who is healing up from some kind of heartache. You're coming into a better place emotionally. For some of you, this may be very literal. Maybe you just had like heart surgery and you're healing up from that kind of a heartache. But for most of you, this is going to be more of an emotional type thing. Hey, Patty E. Hello, hello. If you want to type a question in the chat before I get done with the spread, then I will answer one question at the end of this video if there's one there to be answered. But you have to type it in while I'm still going through information for Taurians in general. Okay, so let's look at the lesson or experience of the week, Taurus. Really, it looks like what you're experiencing is there are some things that you know you need to change. These could be lifestyle habits. Maybe you're eating, maybe you're exercising. Maybe there are some habits that you have at work that really need to be changed, and you know this, but you are stubbornly refusing. Why are you doing that? You may want to reconsider. You may want to reconsider that, but I do feel like you're stubbornly refusing. Looks to me like part of the reason you're refusing is you're not quite sure how to make the changes that you know need to be made. You're not seeing a good way to actually do that. And then the other thing that's going on towards the end of the week, as you're not making these changes, looks to me like whatever this change is that you really need to make, instead of making that change, you're cutting off the person who is demanding that change. You're just cutting them out of your life. You're like, nope, not doing it, not even talking about it. Done. Not talking to you anymore. All right, so that's something that we have going on. And then once we get towards the end of the week, we see you coming into a place of cooperation. So I think that you're going to be cutting somebody off for just a short period. And then I think you're going to be starting to cooperate with that person, communicate, interact. And you may even be starting to make some of these changes that you weren't quite sure how to make or that you were stubbornly refusing to make once we get into the ultimate end of the week here. Okay, so that is your forecast, Taurus. I hope that you find it helpful. Jean Croft Baker, hello, hello. Oh, that's why you're watching Taurus, because you're interested in a Taurus. Gotcha. Okay, so Patty E has written a question here, so let's answer that question. What and where are my blockages to my spiritual progress? Show me the most important blockage to Patty E's spiritual progress that she needs to know about. Okay, Patty E, here's what's going on. Spirit is telling me that, yeah, there are some blockages, but here's the thing. You don't get rid of the blockages as long as you're focused on blockages. You just kind of create more, actually. So Spirit would rather that you focus on finding solutions for things. So where you feel like things are blocked up, you have a pretty good sense of where your blockages are already. we all kind of do. I mean, they're hard to miss. But if you can look at them as far as what are solutions to blockages, then that's going to get you a lot further. And I could just call that your answer right there, but I'm not going to. I'm actually going to just switch up your question and look for advice for solutions for you. Get you started on the right track. Gemma Croft Baker, I actually only answer one question at the end of these weeklies, and I've already started into Patty E's because it was already up there when I finished looking at the forecast. And that's the deal. The question has to be there by the time I'm done looking at the forecast for me to answer it. You're quite welcome, Patty E. So let's see here. Okay. So here's the thing, Patty E. You are trying to work with other people to help you move forward or help you through your blockages, help you find solutions. And the way this is coming up, this is really advising that you don't lean so much on other people, that you kind of leave them actually more out of the picture because they're hindering you more than they're helping you. And instead, what it's time to do is it's time to really do some self-reflection. Look deep inside yourself. Ask yourself some of the hard questions about why am I behaving this way in this situation? What's causing that? Is this a rational reaction to this situation? Is this a reaction that's being triggered by things that have happened in my past? It's time to do your own reflection for yourself. Ask yourself these types of questions. And it's really important. This is really the key here. If you're going to do this, it's really important that you're honest with yourself about what you find. Remember, you're talking to yourself. You don't have to candy coat it to impress anybody else. You don't have to candy coat it to look like you're a sane person. You don't have to candy coat it to look like anything. So when you're working with yourself like this, there's no reason to be anything but honest with yourself. Okay? So that's what I have coming up as a solution for you, or solution orientation. It basically tells you that's a nice pattern. That's a nice pattern that you can use for any blockage. So I think that's really good. I think your reading's really good. I hope you do too. All right, so it's time for me to take off and get ready to hopefully do another video. And I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for keeping me company and keeping me on my toes. Peace out.